If you watch this channel, you might be familiar with VGC Legends, the series where I spin a wheel, get a random legendary or mythical Pokemon, and build a team quickly around that Pokemon and try it out on the ladder. There are 60 plus episodes of that already up on the channel that you can go check out anytime. But I have a problem because I have spun a wheel. You'll see the wheel spin in a video very soon. And it gave me Jirachi. And the problem I have is I do absolutely have an idea of what I want to do with Jirachi in Regulation J. I thought of it the very first night that the format was announced, and I knew it was a matter of time before I gave it a go. But I don't know if I can taint the VGC Legends series with this idea. It seems too toxic, too evil to be associated with that brand. And so, I've spun the wheel, I've gotten Jirachi, but I have not made the rest of that video yet, because my first Jirachi idea, well, I don't know. We're going to play some Regulation J with the Jirachi team, and then I'll make another one to finish the Jirachi VGC Legends video. And because of how toxic and evil this idea is, I'm not even doing it openly under my own name. We'll be playing this one as Rapidash Reservoir. Let's go. Yeah, it's Smeargle Muck stuff with Choice Scarf, Iron Head, Jirachi for those 60% flinches. And then for the second restricted Pokemon, I wanted something with Psych Up, obviously, to copy the boosts. I was thinking Shadow Rider Calyrex because of how fast it is. But I've gone with Shaman instead, because Skyform Shaman can use Psych Up, and it also has Serene Grace, and it can flinch through things with Air Slash after it copies the boosts. So, then I have Dondozo and Tatsugiri. I'll probably only bring them to Zamazenta matchups, because Zamazenta hard counters minimize Muck, because Heavy Slam ignores minimize boosts. Anyway, this opponent does not have a restricted Pokemon. I had to double check that I am playing Regulation J, even though, obviously, I wouldn't be allowed to get into a game with this team if I'd clicked on Reg H, but hey, I am undercover right now at the bottom of the ladder, so it is what it is. Smeargle, Muck, Jirachi, Shaman. This is the game plan basically every time I don't see a Zamazenta on the other side. They lead Glasgow and Excadrill. Looks like they want to set up Sand, but whatever with. Anyway, do I just follow me and minimize? Fake Out minimize, Spore minimize? How do you actually play Smeargle Muck teams? I don't think I have before. Burning Bulwark, Terra Grass minimize. I kind of like that here, actually, because I'll probably click Ground-type attacks into Muck. Alright, Burning Bulwark, Terra Grass minimize. Earthquake. And what does Gliscor go for? Stealth Rock. Interesting choice. Okay. I mean, that will do 25% to Shaman when it comes in, but Muck gets a minimize now. Now that Muck is a grass type, it's not afraid of the spread damage from Earthquake, so I'll go ahead and follow me, minimize this turn. It's Poison Heal Gliscor, so I actually can't damage it by poisoning it. In fact, it's poisoned itself voluntarily. But now I get Moody onto Muck. I get to +4 evasiveness. +2 defense. Nice. I go Jirachi here. Right, and this is where the evil comes in. I could Fire Punch the Excadrill, do super effective damage and potentially burn it, but I mean, let's just stick to the plan here. Iron Head, minimize. 60% flinch, we don't get it, but they choose to Iron Head into Muck and Poison Jab, and they actually land both attacks, which is pretty disrespectful of them, to be honest. Well, Muck is set up with minimize now, so I can just, you know what? I'd actually rather flinch the Gliscor, because I'm kind of afraid of that Poison Jab. On the other hand, Excadrill could click Ground Move into Jirachi. Let's just Iron Head Gliscor and +2 knockoff. They actually protect the Excadrill, so that works out nicely. Iron Head does respectable damage, and we get that flinch, and knockoff KOs. No more Poison Jab to worry about. It was a bit of a worry, because I actually could poison Muck since I've Terrestrialized it. Muck gets his special defense lowered, but of course they still have to hit through all those minimize boosts. And it took me a long time, Iron Head this and knockoff. It took me a long time to entertain the idea of actually using a team like this on the channel, because it's a little bit, well, I don't need to come up with more adjectives for it. You can see it for yourselves, but it was the first idea I had for Jirachi, and one of the very first ideas I had for Regulation J. I did think to try this, like I said, the very night that the format was announced. Amoonguss survives the turn. Does it flinch? No, gets a Sludge Bomb into Muck for big damage into that lower special defense. Oh boy. But Amoonguss is in Iron Head range now. I can protect Muck. Moody, of course, is a net stat gain over time because it raises by 2 stages and lowers by 1, but it is a little bit random, whether it's beneficial or not. But they also have to hit through the evasiveness boosts, which they are doing pretty well at so far. Evasiveness is not as strong as some people think. But it's not nothing. We'll knock out Amoonguss there with an Iron Head. They're still not targeting Jirachi, they're just trying to get rid of Muck. Now we get the Sneasler coming in. I am down to try to flinch that if I can, and knock off Excadrill. They fake out Jirachi, okay. Do they knock out Muck here? Nope, they miss an Iron Head. Okay. Did Excadrill not have an item? Did we see it activate a single-use item or something? Oh yeah, an air balloon. Okay, I forgot. And they forfeit. Alright, they got close to breaking Muck, but not quite all the way there. But if they had landed a Dire Claw after that turn, would have been pretty scary. This opponent has restricted Pokemon. They have Alolan Ninetales, Shadow Rider Calyrex, Brute Bonnet, Chi-Yu, Zacian, and Walking Wake. We're just going to do the same thing we're going to do in nearly every matchup in this video. And see what we get from that. What can I say? It was my first idea with Jirachi. Alright, they go Calyrex Ninetales. They can Encore disable stuff here. Because Ninetales doesn't have Prankster, it's just fast. So I honestly would like to Spore Ninetales if they'll let me. And just click Minimize. They Astral Barrage, which is resisted by Muck and does nothing to Smeargle. I do get the Spore next to the Ninetales. This is max speed Smeargle, because how else am I going to EV it, but... yeah, I didn't expect it to go before an Alolan Ninetales. Must be a bulky Ninetales. Anyway, I mean, if they're going to go for Astral Barrage, I'll just Spore this slot, too. They switch out to Zacian. Imagine if I double Spored that. They go for Snarl with the Calyrex. Which, you know, does damage, but it's not amazing. And now, with Muck at +4 evasiveness, I can follow me. And get to +6. And activate Power of Alchemy. Look at Smeargle, by the way. +4 attack, -2 special attack. Got the same Moody adjustments both turns, but that attack stat is not doing anything because I don't have any attacks on it except Fake Out. We sack Smeargle here. We get Power of Alchemy onto Muck. We get maxed out evasiveness, and we get Jirachi onto the field once again. Just to stall things out until Shaman can come in. You know, until eventually the idea is Jirachi goes down, Muck is still here, Shaman comes in and clicks Psych Up. Anyway, I'll go for Iron Head into Zacian. Fire Punch once again is kind of tempting, but let's just play for the flinch. That was the basic concept here, and I'll go for Knockoff into Calyrex. Also does a third, which is pretty good. We do get the flinch. And goodbye Calyrex. I kind of had a hunch they wouldn't have a Sash on this one. I don't know why they have Clear Amulet, though. Covering for Snarl. Muck gets weakened defense, which isn't great into Zacian, but at least the special defense is boosted, and the attack. They go Walking Wake here. I'll Iron Head Zacian and actually protect Muck. So that if Zacian breaks through the flinch, I might, you know, if Jirachi survives the turn, get a chance to knock it out with Iron Head on the next turn. Draco Meteor straight into Muck. Oh, okay, I get another flinch, but the next Iron Head might actually not KO. But certainly down to try, and click Knock Off into Walking Wake, I suppose. The Flamethrower Jirachi does good damage. Zacian does drop to an Iron Head. Walking Wake takes half from Knock Off. It already consumed a booster energy, so no item removed. That means Knock Off will do the same next, because Muck has not lowered its attack. I'll Iron Head Ninetales here and knock off Walking Wake once again. Should KO. Iron Head should KO too, I would think, unless Ninetales is a Focus Sash, but I think this is a tanky Ninetales, except one flaw in that idea, Walking Wake is faster than Jirachi. Oops, right, oh yeah. We don't get the Iron Head, but we do get Shaman in now. Not a great set of boosts to copy. Muck's special attack is actually lowered. So I'm just going to go straight for Air Slash and knock off here. Ninetales stays asleep. It's an icy rock Ninetales. Oh yeah, the snow did last that long. I wasn't even paying attention. But now we can just knock it out with another Air Slash. No Psych Up needed. Alright, next opponent. This one also doesn't have a restricted Pokemon. They got Scraggy, Whimsicott, Alchemy, Clefable, Qianpao, and Meowscarada. I sure am seeing some Pokemon I'm not used to on this ladder. Alchemy. I have Alchemy in the PDL right now. I believe one of its abilities protects its partners from sleep. I think its partner and itself. And the other from things like Taunt and, I don't know, other move restricting, choice restricting moves like that. That one's not important, but I do want to remember that I don't think I can just click Spore in front of Alchemy. Nonetheless, it is the same as always here. They don't have a Zamazenta. They lead Scraggy, Whimsicott. They cannot Encore Muck with Whimsicott because it's a Dark type, but they can Encore Smeargle, so I think I'm not going to mess around with that. I'm just going to quick Follow Me immediately and minimize. It's Terra Water Whimsicott. Didn't see that one coming. Smeargle gets faked out. What does Whimsicott do? Sets Tailwind. Muck gets its minimize pretty freely there. Yeah, I'll just click Follow Me with Smeargle every time in front of this Whimsicott. And minimize again. The Tailwind actually could be pretty disruptive to Jirachi doing its job. Also, Whimsicott turning into a Steel type means it resists Iron Head now instead of being weak to it. But it is, of course, weak to Shaman's Seed Flare, so I can always bring that out early. It's U-turn Whimsicott. Alright. Haven't seen that one before. I don't think I knew it got that move. But Muck's boosting up. Are they going to decorate their Scrafty? I am a little bit more free to do something different. But I don't want to click Spore into this, just like I said, so it's still just Follow Me. They don't have Encore pressure on the board anymore is the point that I was making there, but I don't think it matters. We get Muck to +6. I'm sure Scrafty can still knock Smeargle out if it wants, even with the defense boosts. They just Fake Out instead. They Encore Muck, but they miss. Ah, so Alchemy is Encore. Yeah, that's a good point. That'll work because it doesn't have Prankster. But now I get to Follow Me again. And I mean, none of their team is immune to this. And they don't have any Wide Guard. Let's just Poison Gas here. Get that residual damage. Alchemy just goes for Dazzling Gleam, misses Muck, KOs Smeargle. Muck gets its power of Alchemy, Moody. Muck gets its Moody, it had power of Alchemy already, you know what I mean. Dodges a Rock Slide, lands Poison Gas into both targets, and now, with the Tailwind ending, I go Jirachi? I could go Shaman, actually. I could. This is not a bad Psych Up, just the evasiveness and the speed. I'll go Shaman. Psych Up, and knock off an Alchemy, I guess. And now if they set Tailwind, Shaman will already have doubled speed as well. And because Shaman doesn't have Moody, it just keeps the boosts that it copies instead of them continuing to shift every turn. They actually double switch here. They go Whimsicott, Clefable. If I just clicked Poison Gas again, I'd have everything poisoned unless it's Shed Skin Scrafty. No, it's Intimidate. Also, Shed Skin doesn't work like that. It's not Natural Cure. It just has a chance to cure the status at the end of each turn. So it would have everything poisoned if I just click Poison Gas again. I can do that now. I can Seed Flare this Whimsicott first. Nope, Follow Me. Tailwind. We missed Seed Flare. That's kind of fitting for this video. We also missed Poison Gas into Whimsicott. We landed into Clefable. It is not Magic Guard Clefable, so it does take poison damage. And I'm down to Air Slash it if it's going to be click and Follow Me. They really brought 3 fairy types to this game, but I'm not sure Jirachi will hit the field and show off that Iron Head. I guess one of them's not a fairy type anymore anyway. Oh, Clefable does not Follow Me, but we get a chance to get an Air Slash flinch here. They land a U-turn with Whimsicott into Shaman. Doesn't do a lot of damage. They get Scrafty back, but my team just doesn't care about Intimidate. Yeah, we get flinch into Clefable. I'll click Air Slash into Scraggy here. It's fine with me if they... or Scrafty here. It's fine with me if they redirect it. And honestly, I might as well just protect Muck. They go Alchemy. This Air Slash is going to go into Scrafty. They miss Fake Out into Shaman. It's Covert Cloak Shaman anyway because, I don't know, the Focus Sash was already occupied. So they would not have been able to flinch, even if that had connected. Whimsicott's here. I'll click Seed Flare into that, and I'll also click Poison Gas. Seed Flare takes it out. Everything on their team is poisoned. There's no use clicking Poison Gas anymore. They missed Dazzling Gleam into both targets. I don't think Jirachi is hitting the field this game. I'm down to just click Seed Flare into stuff. And alternate Protect and Knock Off on Muck. Okay, they protect both of their things. I mean, what I can do here is try to take Clefable out and then hard switch to Jirachi if they don't forfeit, anticipating Alchemy to protect again. They do land a Dazzling Gleam into Shaman there. Alright, let's at least get Jirachi onto the field in this game. Should tank that Dazzling Gleam, no problem. If Shaman ever comes back in, it can get +6 speed and +6 special attack, along with +6 evasiveness. But no, Jirachi is taking the last KO here. All those turns on the field, and Muck actually has lowered special defense right now. That's moody for you. But anyway, GG to them. What's next? Hoopa Unbound Psy Spam with Indeedee, Shadow Rider, Calyrex, Incineroar, Tornadus, and Urshifu. Urshifu can, of course, if it lands Surging Strikes, crit with all 3 hits, crit through any defensive boost, but that's probably part of the reason you run Terragrass Muck, I assume. I just saw that it's the most common Terra type and thought, oh yeah, Spore Immunity makes sense. But it makes sense for Rapid Strike Urshifu as well. Although, then you have Bleak Wind Storm not missing. Nonetheless, the plan does not vary unless I see a Zamazenta, so I've said a few times in this video. It's actually Single Strike Urshifu, so that's not so threatening if I don't Terrastalize Muck. I'll just click Spore into it here and protect Muck. A possible Fake Out. There's the Fake Out. You turn into Smeargle. Who's coming in to take the Spore? It's Indeedee. Does it have Goggles? No? Okay. I mean, this position should be a pretty free minimize for Muck, I think. I'll follow me in case Incineroar attacks. And it does with Knock Off. That gives Moody to Muck. We get boosted speed to go for the next one. I'll go Jirachi. I'll Ironhead Indeedee. I am quite possibly letting Incineroar knock Jirachi out, but I don't think I'm too bothered about that. It follows me anyway, so if I'd attacked Incineroar, it would have worked out to the same thing. Muck gets to +4 and dodges a knockoff. Jirachi will get a chance to knock out Indeedee here. They forfeit. Okay, that was a quick one. Urshifu, Ice Rider Calyrex, Incineroar, Pelipper, Magearna, and Rillaboom. Well, I don't see Zamazenta. Okay, they forfeit a preview. Yeah, I kind of figured there'd be some amount of that. Galarian Moltres, Comfey, Urshifu, Wellspring Mask, Ogerpon, Lunala, and Rillaboom. This is a Regulation G team. They only have one restricted Pokemon, and it's not Zamazenta. Rillaboom, Moltres. They're going to go for like Nasty Plot Moltres, try to get a big +6 hit into Muck sometime. Well, this turn I'll just Burning Bulwark and Protect. Avoid a Fake Out. Might as well preserve Smeargle's Sash. I could actually just Fake Out Rillaboom and minimize. Let's do that instead. That's a little bit more proactive. It is Nasty Plot Moltres. Just going for the big hit. With that in mind, I think I will... Smeargle gets the +2 speed at just the right time. I think I'll just go straight for a Spore into Moltres. and minimize with Muck. Does Moltres run safety goggles? It wouldn't shock me if it does on some teams, but I don't know that it does. That might be a really well-timed speed boost. Somehow Moody, you know, turns out just right like that sometimes. I guess play enough games and it's going to happen. Smeargle gets boosted speed again. I might as well go for Spore into Comfey now. I do need to get Smeargle knocked out, though. Seems to be easier said than done. And they forfeit. Never mind, I don't need to get Smeargle knocked out. Okay. Kyogre, Incineroar, Rapid Strike Calyrex? Shadow Rider Calyrex, Tornadus, Archaludon, interesting, and Iron Shreds. You know the drill. Let's see what this Rapid Strike Calyrex can do. Could you imagine Calyrex with like a special Unseen Fist and a water type Astral Barrage on this rain team that always crits and hits 3 times? Gen 12 power creep right there. Okay, they lead Tornadus and Archaludon. They're probably going to go for like Rain Dance Electro Shot. Maybe not. Maybe they... Well, they can't taunt Muck because it's Dark type and this has Prankster, so maybe they taunt Smeargle. I think I feel fine to just Spore Archaludon and minimize here, though. Terra Ghost on the Tornadus, covering for a Fake Out, I assume. But they didn't know that they wouldn't be able to taunt Muck. Unless they thought I would Terra, but I'm not sure why they would think that in this position. And turn 1 forfeit. Okay, next. Groudon, Darkrai, Sableye, Rillaboom, Chanpao, Ditto. I did vaguely wonder in the builder what the Darkrai Gravity matchup would be like, given that it can put Muck to sleep with Dark Void, but then I didn't worry about it. After this game, depending on how it turns out, I might want to change Burning Bulwark on Smeargle to Wide Guard. We'll see. Also, Ditto copies my stat boost, so that's really scary, actually. But, well, we'll see what happens. Ditto could ruin this team's whole day. Maybe. Groudon, Sableye. That is... Oh! Heat Crash works like Heavy Slam, doesn't it? It's also going to ignore Minimize boosts. And Muck is weak to Precipice Blades. And if I Terrasilize to resist Precipice Blades, Muck becomes weak to Heat Crash. So, actually, I didn't think about that, did I? Let's see if I can Spore this Groudon. Terra Ground. Uh-oh. Well, well, hopefully I can win without Muck. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put Wide Guard on Smeargle after this game. Let's try to Seed Flare this Groudon. Will they let me? I can always just go... Oh, I was going to say Darkrai, but I guess I wouldn't take a Seed Flare so well. Rillaboom at least gets the special defense drop, so... And it's Covert Cloak Shaman, so I don't have to worry about Fake Out while I just Air Slash this Rillaboom. Spore is disabled. I guess I'll click Burning Bulwark and Air Slash Rillaboom. If they go for the Fake Out into Smeargle, they get burned. I don't think it's going to matter. They disable Seed Flare. That's not going to matter either because I went for Air Slash. That does mean that I now can't Seed Flare Groudon. Is Groudon coming back in? Nope, it's Chanpao. I'll click Follow Me and switch to Jirachi. I want to be able to Seed Flare Groudon, and I also like the idea of clicking Iron Head into this Chanpao, although Sucker Punch could make that a problem. Could be a problem for that Sucker Punch problem. Okay, they knock out Smeargle with an Ice Shard. Now I know they have that. I will Terra Fairy this Shaman, which I think is a Terra type that I just chose for a lot of neutral defensive matchups when Shaman has boosted Evasiveness and maybe Bulk. Seed Flare into Groudon, Iron Head into Chanpao. They still have Sableye to switch in. That's not going to love taking Seed Flare either, I don't think. Yeah, just gets knocked out. Ice Shard isn't knocking anything out here. Seed Flare Ironhead for the win. Just need to land the Seed Flare. Okay, why did I say that? But Groudon stays asleep, so we get another chance. And also, Ironhead has the 60% flinch chance into it now, and they're not even going to take their chances. They just forfeit. So, lost Muck turn 1 without even getting any setup on it, but still pulled the game back, and I am going to go ahead and put Wide Guard on this Smeargle now. Do you think that's more valuable on this team than Burning Bulwark? Shadow Rider, Calyrex, Incineroar, Koraidon, Amoonguss, Urshifu, and Screamtail. Probably not with Perish Trap on this team, but no Trap obviously. Probably not with Perish Song on this team, but it's possible. Otherwise, it's just Encore Disable, super disruptive cheese that is probably pretty hard for this team to deal with. Although Scarf Jirachi might save the day against the Screamtail, we'll see. Alright, Amoonguss and Single Striker Shifu once again. If I go for Spore, they can just Rage Powder, redirect that. They'll just follow me. Let's fake out Urshifu, actually, and minimize. Because Amoonguss isn't really a damage threat. If they put Smeargle to sleep, and then they can focus on damaging Muck without me clicking Follow Me, that's not ideal. But instead they went for Spore into Muck, and they missed. That'll work. I'll Follow Me and minimize here. It's Taunt Urshifu. They taunt Smeargle. Okay, I didn't see that coming. You do see Taunt Urshifu once in a while. It's not like a crazy out there thing. Smeargle is getting defense boosts from the Moody, and it's taunted now, which is actually really awkward. Oh well. If they miss their attacks, then I'm good. Muck is fully set up evasiveness-wise. It dodges another Spore. I'm down to try to poison Urshifu. Obviously that won't work on Amoonguss, but damage over time would be nice, because this could be a slow one. Get the Poison Gas into Urshifu. They miss another Spore into Muck. Feels like one of those has to connect sooner or later. But I'll go for damage into Amoonguss here. They're just missing everything. That is genuinely bad luck on their part. Boosted evasiveness is not normally that crazy. They do finally land a Spore now. Smeargle's taunt is over. I can click Follow Me until Smeargle gets taunted again. And try to wake Muck up. They bring Koraidon in. Smeargle goes right back to sleep. Smeargle is getting crazy boosts, unfortunately. It's not the Pokemon that I really want to have them. I'm going to click Spore into Koraidon and Protect on Muck here. Muck does not wake up. Smeargle didn't have a chance to wake up, that's why I protected. Muck does dodge another close combat. Alright, this is plus 5 speed on this Smeargle. If I can get a Spore into Koraidon, I'm gaming. Let's see. Muck stays asleep. Smeargle stays asleep. Koraidon lands a close combat into Muck and does a lot of damage. Okay, where am I at for... Smeargle is maxed out on speed. Muck will wake up this turn. Smeargle still has a chance not to. I'm going to do this again. This Protect is guaranteed. Smeargle stays asleep. Now I can Spore Koraidon and knock off again into Amoonguss. Smeargle has had a lot of turns to pile up. Sorry for bumping the desk there. Smeargle's had a lot of turns to pile up these speed boosts. And now Follow Me, knock off into Amoonguss. They bring Urshifu back in. Don't quite get the KO, but Smeargle redirects the sleep away from Muck. Another knockoff will KO Amoongus. They miss another close combat into Muck. I don't know how many that is in this game. Alright, what do I even do now? Follow me, I guess. And poison gas for whenever the Koraidon wakes up, which is right now. They just missed 2 more close combats. I get Koraidon poisoned. I can protect to avoid Koraidon damage at least. Obviously, Unseen Fist will go through protect. For now, I guess I keep clicking follow me, though. But Smeargle's not guaranteed to wake up this turn, so I'll still do this. Does wake up. Now they'll knock out Smeargle, and I'll finally get Moody onto Muck after all these turns. And just some absurd boosts on this Smeargle. And now I get Jirachi, and I think I was gonna say Shaman because I can air slash these two, but Koraidon might be faster than Shaman. So let's go Scarf Jirachi. Let's Ironhead Koraidon. Knock off Urshifu. Ooh, Koraidon survives, but it flinches 60%. They finally land an Urshifu close combat into Muck, but that does a lot less damage than the Koraidon close combat. Oh, Muck got defense boosted. I wasn't paying attention. Does a lot less damage than the Koraidon close combat. We get both their Pokemon into KO range from the poison this turn. And what is their last Pokemon? It's Screamtail. Feels like that could have been disruptive way earlier, but now let's Ironhead it and Poison Gas, I guess. They Encore Jirachi into Ironhead, not realizing that it's Scarfed. Even though it moved before Koraidon, they probably should have picked up on that one. But, you know, if my opponent's a little flustered, I can't really blame them. They can disable Jirachi now, but Screamtail is going to faint to poison damage pretty soon anyway. Yeah. The Jirachi doesn't get to move this turn, but Screamtail, I mean, only has a couple turns left. Muck gets speed boosted. Jirachi can struggle, that's fine. Smeargle goes Terra Dark. Tries to Encore Muck, misses, and Struggle into Knockoff takes it out. Alright. How's this for riveting gameplay, huh? I was very lucky that game. Muck dodged a ton of close combats and Spores. And I might have to do it again, because now we got Shadow Rider Calyrex with Koraidon, Brute Bonnet, Hitmontop, Murkrow, and Blood Moon Ursaluna. Let's see. Smeargle Muck against Murkrow, Calyrex. Murkrow could Prankster Taunt Smeargle. Of course, it cannot do that to Muck. Muck is really not threatened by much here. Oh, Murkrow Haze is a problem for Muck. Let's see if they let me Spore Murkrow. They're fighting Calyrex. Okay, they do taunt Smeargle, so I do not get to Spore Murkrow. They land a fighting Terra Blast into Muck immediately. And yeah, actually Haze is a real problem here. I'm going to hard switch to Jirachi, looking to threaten the Murkrow if I possibly can. Forgot about how the extent to which Murkrow can just counter this stuff. I think I always go for minimize when I'm not fully set up. They taunt Jirachi. That's fine. It's Scarfed. They crit the Terra Blast. Looks like that would have... I don't think that... It doesn't look like that crit mattered. So, can't be upset about that one. Let's try to get rid of this Murkrow and end the Tailwind so that Shaman still has a chance to win this. They Thunder Wave Smeargle. That is fine. They Terra Blast Smeargle. Knock it down to its Sash. Jirachi takes out Murkrow. There won't be another Tailwind in this game, but still an uphill battle now that Muck has gone down. Koraidon is here. Let's Ironhead that and follow me. Koraidon is faster than the Calyrex. Interesting. Terra Blast just wipes out Jirachi. Okay, Shaman is not pulling this one back. So yeah, there are limits to what this team can pull off in a powerful format like this. Let's attack the Koraidon. Let Calyrex have its win if it wants it. A terrifying Calyrex kind of wrecked me. Combination of that and Murkrow. I thought that Muck was not threatened in that turn 1 position, and then the Fighting Terra Blast did like almost 60%. Koraidon, Lunala, Fluttermane, Ursaluna, pretty threatening. Especially with Koraidon and Incineroar, I can't just safely Terra around it. And I also have Incineroar and Brute Bonnet. Okay, well, let's see. Sorry, just answering something quickly while I wait for my opponent to lock in. Smeargle, Muck, Fluttermane, Lunala. Do you think it's Taunt Fluttermane? Could be. Just follow me. Minimize. It is Taunt Fluttermane. Lunala says Trick Room. That means I get another minimize before they can click Taunt again, so that's actually kind of nice for me. But it also means that I get like no value at all out of this Pokemon slot. I'm just going to click Useless Fake Out while I wait for the Taunt to wear off. I get Ursaluna in here. They miss a Taunt into Muck. Genuinely, I think my best play this turn is Useless Fake Out and Protect. Am I going to have to Terra Grass the Muck? No, because they're clicking Facade. It doesn't even help. I just need them to miss. Ooh, that does so much damage. And they land the Dazzling Gleam. Well, the good news is I can get out of Trick Room. And maybe win the game from there. It seems, you know, not impossible. Can I Spore the Fluttermane before Smeargle goes down? Protect Shaman. I went for the Facade into Shaman, so I will get a chance to Spore Fluttermane. That's nice. And now, with Trick Room ending, just follow me as a hedge. I'll just Spore the slot again, actually, in case they switch, and I'll go for Seed Flare into Ursaluna. Is Shaman faster than Smeargle? No. I would Spore this slot if Shaman were faster than Smeargle to cover Ursaluna switching out, but the Spore goes before the Seed Flare, so that's not very useful when the Seed Flare wipes out Ursaluna anyway. And Ursaluna's burned, so it couldn't be made to fall asleep. Who's coming in next? Even when the Muck goes down early, the Flinch Bros are still able to pull some of these games back. We'll see if this is one of them. Lunala's back. I would like to Spore that to deny another Trick Room, and I would like to get a Seed Flare into Fluttermane if I can. For big damage. Their Fairy on the Lunala does not stop it from falling asleep. Fluttermane wakes up. Goes for Dazzling Gleam. Could have wide guarded there, but I hedged on it not waking up right away. But now, I mean, it's going to drop to an Iron Head if they let it. And with Lunala asleep, I would like Lunala to stay asleep this turn if possible, but I'm going to Iron Head and Air Slash the Fluttermane slot. If they just leave Fluttermane in, Iron Head should KO. If they switch to Koraidon, Air Slash hits that hard. They do leave Fluttermane in. Air Slash will break Shadow Shield now if it connects, which it does. Lunala stays asleep. Lunala is looking pretty weak to that Iron Head now. And who's their last Pokemon? Brute Bonnet. Okay, I can Air Slash that. They could Rage Powder here and redirect the Iron Head, but like hopefully they won't. Okay, Lunala actually takes that Iron Head reasonably well. Brute Bonnet takes a little over half from Air Slash. Lunala does not flinch, but Brute Bonnet does. I think I probably lose, because I think I KO Lunala here. Assuming they don't protect, but they might not have it. But then I probably lose to Brute Bonnet. But if I target Brute Bonnet instead, then I lose to Lunala. So what can you do? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I win this. If I do lose, it was a solid effort from this flinch duo here. But yeah, one way or another, we'll see what happens. Rage Powder is what happens. So Lunala does just get to attack for free. Take out Jirachi. Almost pulled that one back after Muck went down early, but not quite. Play until one more loss, of course. Whoa, White Kyurem. With Ninetales, Incineroar, Miraidon, Farigiraf, and Smeargle. Okay. Haven't run into a single Zamazenta yet, although I remembered mid-one game that most Groudon sets also hard counter this stuff in the same way. But not a Zamazenta to be seen. Anyway, does evasiveness make it possible to dodge Blizzard and Snow? I wouldn't bet that it does, actually. So that could be a problem. But they lead Farigiraf Miraidon instead of the Snow duo. In a way, this simplifies my decision making, because there's no use trying to click Spore into anything. Or Fake Out into anything this turn. Let's just follow me and minimize. Redirect an Electro Drift. Double up with Foul Play. Smeargle drops turn 1. Muck gets Moody immediately, along with the Minimize Evasiveness boost. Clicking Iron Head into this Miraidon feels not amazing, but... I mean, I could click Zen Headbutt. There's just the risk that it misses, and also Iron Head is better into most of the rest of their team. Let's just do it. 60% to flinch. It's more likely favorable than not. Even with the damage probably not being all that great. Muck didn't get a great Moody boost this turn, though. Obviously, though, this is the whole concept of the team. Ironhead, Scarf, Jirachi giving cover for Muck to pile up boosts. Let's see how it goes. It really is a flinch. I don't get it, but they target Jirachi and they knock it out. That means Muck is free to set up some more. Get a special defense boost. That's pretty well timed right now. And I can go Shaman and I can just protect to get more boosts on Muck before I do anything else. Shaman is, I think, slower than Miraidon, depending on Miraidon's set. I am running max speed Shaman. So I might not get a Psych Up this game, but on the other hand, maybe I will. Actually, this might not have... Well, this wouldn't be a great turn for a Psych Up because Muck's speed is lowered. Ideally... Okay, that does not change this turn. In fact, I actually lose the special attack boost that Muck had. I don't know if I want to click Psych Up. I guess it's still good for the evasiveness. Don't know that I'll get the chance to execute it here anyway. Muck gets to max evasiveness. Shaman gets wiped out by an Electro Drift, and it is all up to Muck to try to pull this game back. Opponent just reverses their own Trick Room. I am at plus a lot special defense, so I feel okay to just click Poison Gas here instead of protecting. Might not have to worry about dodging Blizzard if these special defense boosts stick around. That's very convenient. Moody roll there. We get the poison into Ninetales, but not Kyurem. Let's try again. Helping Hand, Blizzard, connects. I'm not sure it can be dodged in Snow. We get the poison into Kyurem. Now I can weave in Protects here. We've seen Jirachi and Shaman try to pull some games back, sometimes successfully, sometimes not. This one now is all Muck. What I really don't want to see is the special defense lowered. It's already happened once, but that's not the end of the world. We take this next Blizzard, we get a big +6 knockoff into Kyurem. So probably no more Blizzards to worry about unless Ninetales has that move. I guess it's not quite a hard counter like Heavy Slam would be, because I forgot to mention Heavy Slam not only ignores minimize boosts, but also does boosted damage into Pokemon that have used Miminize. And I believe Heat Crash is the same into Miminize users. That Blizzard was just doing normal Blizzard damage, and Muck was lucky enough to have rolled at one point +4 special defense, then it fell to +3, now it's +5. And with all this boosted attack, I might as well be clicking Knockoff instead of Poison Gas. Electro Drift misses. That animation scared me. I thought it had connected. And they probably don't have enough damage to beat Muck now that Miraidon has dropped. I might as well hedge for another Blizzard, though. I don't know... Oh, Ninetales does have Blizzard. They actually have shown me now. Yeah, definitely might as well hedge. Get a little bit more recovery. They also could freeze me with the Blizzard, even if Ninetales doesn't have the damage that Kyurem had. So let's go for Ninetales here with this knockoff. No freeze. Ninetales is gone. I don't think Farigiraf can win this. Actually, Foul Play could maybe do a lot. It's resisted, but I am at +6 attack, but they forfeit instead of trying that. And we survive to play another game. Against Incineroar, Zacian, Miraidon, Chien-Pao, Ting-Lu, and Iron Moth. Okay. Iron Moth is a cool Pokemon. You don't see it too often. I took it to my very first regional all the way back in Regulation B. So I definitely have a soft spot for that Pokemon, but I haven't done much with it since then. Alright. Iron Moth and Miraidon right off the bat, threatening big damage. Is it big spread damage? It could be, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to click Follow Me and Minimize and hope for the best. If it's like Heat Wave and Dazzling Gleam, but it's not. Fiery Dance does get the boost, not ideal. Taunt, I didn't know Miraidon got that move. I've never seen a Taunt Miraidon before. Well, please knock out Smeargle instead of attacking Muck here. They do knock out Smeargle. Does Muck get through this turn? Very important, Muck. Come on. Okay, well, it survives. Get some more evasiveness. I guess I go... Is Jirachi going to be faster than Iron Moth? No, it isn't. Iron Moth is going to be faster. Even so, I guess I go Jirachi. Altera Ghost to improve my chances of surviving a Fiery Dance, and I'll Zen Headbutt the Iron Moth. I'm looking for the KO instead of the flinch here. Jirachi survives. Zen Headbutt KOs the Moth. Jirachi confirmed faster than Miraidon. They went for Electro Drift into Muck. But I protected. Muck is at lowered special defense. That's really, both defenses. That's really bad here. I just need them to miss their moves into Muck is what this works out to. If I can land a Zen Headbutt into Miraidon and flinch it, that's also helpful. But I also need Zacian to miss. This is just a really bad position. Still got to go for that third minimize too, so let's do that here. Zen Headbutt connects. They knock out Jirachi with the Zacian. Does Miraidon flinch? It does. Okay. Alright, not over yet. Muck is just getting killed on these Moody rolls, though. I'm just going to do a double protect turn to see what else I get from that. Shaman is probably the slowest restricted Pokemon on the field right now, so, you know, boosting evasiveness and special attack would not be a bad psych up, but this is why it might have been optimal to run Shadow Rider Calyrex. Shaman is probably just not fast enough to pull this off, while Calyrex would be, but we'll see. Depends on the opponent's priorities. They target Muck with both Pokemon this turn, so, I mean, I'm going to go for the psych up. It might work out. That is a really... those are some really nasty defense drops, though. But Muck does have boosted attack. We dodge a Behemoth Blade. We dodge an Electro Drift. I get the Psych Up with Shaman. I get a knockoff into Miraidon, knocking it out. Zacian is still super scary. Muck just keeps trading defense for offense here, which is not really what I want. Incineroar comes in. Yeah, I'll just protect. Shaman wouldn't have flinched to that, but I might as well play this a little bit slowly. Try to get some good boosts on Muck. Let's... Shaman is slower than Zacian anyway, so let's Air Slash Incineroar. And... knock off Zacian? I mean, sooner or later I have to do damage to Zacian somehow. Air Slash almost takes out Incineroar at +4 special attack, and it gets the flinch. Here, I'll protect Muck, but I'll Air Slash Incineroar. They forfeit. They could have knocked out Shaman at any time. They had to actually connect with their attack, but if they did, they could have knocked out Shaman at any time, and then I don't know how Muck beats Zacian, but... okay, got through that one. What's next? Oh, now speaking of Pokemon that are faster than Shaman, this team has Regieleki, along with Shadow Rider, Miraidon. All of those are faster than Shaman, and then some Pokemon that aren't, in Rillaboom, Incineroar, and Dragonite, although Dragonite could have Tailwind. Well, you know the drill. Miraidon, Rillaboom, they turn off their own electric terrain immediately in favor of grassy terrain. I'll go for Fake Out into Miraidon if they'll let me, and I'll go for Minimize. They let me. I have the faster Fake Out with this max speed Smeargle. Now I guess I can follow me, and... I mean, I can be clicking Spore now if I want, but Smeargle's at lowered speed. It's not going to work anyway. Follow me, Minimize. Gotta get Moody onto Muck as well. How about Jirachi actually clicking Zen Headbutt in that last game? I thought it might never happen. Not a lot of situations where Zen Headbutt is all that valuable, but we found one. What does Miraidon do here? Draco Meteor. Does a lot of damage, but doesn't one-shot. Muck gets more evasiveness. Muck has an attack boost. Okay, not ideal, but... doing what we can here. Miraidon is pretty vulnerable now. I can just Iron Head this Rillaboom, or Fire Punch it. I can just Iron Head this Rillaboom and go for that last Minimize. Miraidon not hitting terribly hard, I would think. After that Draco Meteor. Might not want to go for another one immediately, exactly. I thought about protecting there, but we take advantage of the switch by getting a pretty free final boost. We also flinch the Rillaboom with Iron Head. Regieleki, who knows what kind of speed stat that thing has. Let's just target the Rillaboom here. I'll go for Poison Gas. They turned the grassy terrain off. It's too bad. I kind of was enjoying using that to heal Muck. But Volt Switch does not one-shot Jirachi. This Iron Head is not going to do much to Rillaboom. They do actually give me the grassy terrain right back, which is excellent. They're also, of course, nerfing their own Miraidon every time they do that. We get Poison into Miraidon. Muck gets... Is that Special Defense? Okay, Special Defense is very good here. However, I will still protect Muck this turn. Go for the Iron Head into Rillaboom. It's cheap damage. If Jirachi gets to execute the move, which it doesn't in this case. They go Regieleki. Rillaboom is not very threatening into Shaman. Regieleki might be. We'll find out. But, oh, the special attack drop isn't great, but I will take boosted evasiveness and +1 in each defense. I will go ahead and take that Psych Up if they let me. Volt Switch does 2/3 to Shaman, which is less than 1 hole. So Shaman does survive to click the Psych Up. And still gets hit by a U-turn. But still survives. Regieleki can knock Shaman out, but only if it connects. And that might not happen, who knows. Rillaboom's back. I'll just protect both of my Pokemon here. Regieleki goes Terra Electric, looking for big damage. Electric Terrain is, of course, gone for the rest of the game, but... you know, Transistor boosted Thunderbolt from Regieleki, not the worst damage in the world. Nice attack boost on Muck. That knockoff is going to hurt things. I'll go for Air Slash into Rillaboom and knock off into Regieleki. They do land a Grassy Glide into Shaman, but it doesn't KO thanks to +1 defense, and Shaman dodges a Volt Switch. Muck KOs Regieleki back. Shaman now the slowest Pokemon on the field thanks to that speed drop, and Muck stacking up some speed boosts. Really doesn't do much to Rillaboom with that Air Slash. This Shaman I think is like max speed, near max HP, so not much special attack investment. That drop really hurts it, but only if the opponent lands their attacks. Shaman claims another one. I guess Shaman is more of the win con here, but Jirachi has an important supporting role, right? Stalling out some turns for Muck to stockpile boosts. Miraidon, Iron Hands, Iron Leaves, Kyogre, Grimmsnarl, and this thing, Whimsicott. Let's go. They lead Whimsicott, Miraidon. They can mess with Smeargle. I think I'm down, though, to fake out Miraidon turn 1. Miraidon's a giant threat, as we've seen. It does a lot of damage. It doesn't one-shot Muck, but it does a lot of damage. Actually, this one might one-shot Muck, because they have their terrain up instead of replacing it with grassy terrain. But probably only if they click Electro Drift, and I can redirect that with this Follow Me. Or does Whimsicott's Encore go first? We'll find out. No, they don't go for Encore. Follow Me, redirects the Electro Drift. Muck gets Moody. Muck doesn't take Miraidon damage this turn. It takes Whimsicott damage. It gets a second Minimize. Gets a special defense boost. That's really, really good here. We'll go Jirachi. Jirachi is not super well positioned into Miraidon, especially when they can set Tailwind with Whimsicott. But I'll just click Iron Head into the Whimsicott, I think. Try to knock it out instead of looking for a flinch right now. Ooh, Helping Hand Whimsicott. Don't know if I've seen that one before, but they missed the Electro Drift. Lucky me on that. Iron Head doesn't manage to KO the Whimsicott. But Muck is piling up defense boost this time, which I like more than the offense boosts it got in that other game. Let's go for a Poison Gas here. And this Iron Head is going to go into Kyogre, so it won't do much. But if I can poison the restricted Pokemon, that's pretty nice. 20%, okay. They knock out Jirachi. They get their stuff poisoned. I'm gonna go Shaman. I'm gonna protect twice to get out of electric terrain because Muck did just lose some of that special defense boost. I would like Muck to get a speed boost here. I don't love Psych Up copying a speed drop. Thunder Kyogre. Again, I'm not sure that actually can miss in rain, even with the evasiveness boosts. Okay, Muck doesn't get what I wanted, but it does have nice boosted defenses and evasiveness. I'll go for the Psych Up if they let me, and I'll go for Knockoff into Kyogre because I think that is more threatening with that can't miss Thunder. They also paralyze Muck with that. Electro Drift connects into Shaman, so I will not be getting the Psych Up this game, but I get good damage into Kyogre. It is now in poison range, and I think I just protect Muck here. Let Kyogre drop unless they switch it out. It is all up to Muck to win this one now. They switch Iron Hands in on the protect, so they can try to fake out next turn. They're still not resetting the electric terrain so far. I'll go for Knockoff into the Miraidon slot. Should take a KO into Whimsicott if that switches in, or Kyogre. Get some damage into Miraidon. And they forfeit before I have to make any more decisions. Nice. Another win, I think, cost us 1,300. But at this point, we're just seeing how long we survive until loss number 3. And this has been going for almost an hour, and there have been some pretty quick games. There have been long games, too, actually, so never mind that point. But, yeah, this Jirachi team is... I don't know what it's doing, but it's doing something. Finally see a Zamazenta. I believe that is the first one of the video, almost an hour in. And they also have a Murkrow, so it might be over now. Let's bring the non-Smeargle Muck mode on this team. Let's bring Jirachi, Tatsugiri, Shaman, Dondozo. Theory behind this mode is, I don't know. The usual stuff probably doesn't work on Zamazenta. Toxic Orb Tatsugiri, by the way. The Shaman can try to copy Dondozo's stat boosts. Oh, but they have Murkrow, so the stat boosts are just going to go away, actually. Yeah, Murkrow Zamazenta is probably just a hard counter to this team. There's not much to be done about that. Yeah. I can get attack boosts with Dondozo, but Shaman can't benefit from those. Maybe Shaman can flinch through this Zamazenta, though, with Air Slash. It's not impossible. Or maybe Jirachi can get a Fire Punch burn, although I'll have to give up these two Pokemon to get it, and at that point I'm locking myself into Fire Punch. But it's not the worst thing into this team. but I'd probably rather lock into Ironhead. So maybe Shaman can flinch through Zamazenta with Air Slash. I think that's the only hope at this point. Let's go Jirachi. Lock into Ironhead, into Murkrow. Muddy Water if they let me. Okay, Ironhead into Calyrex is alright too. That possibly breaks a Focus Sash. Not great damage though. I hope I do get this Muddy Water. Okay, but just like that, I'm down to just Shaman, and I think that's GG. Yeah, so Zamazenta Murkrow kind of hard counters this team, but we certainly unleashed Evil on other parts of the ladder. Evil so great, so colorful, foul-smelling, and poisonous that it could not be used under the VGC Legends brand, or even under the name of the channel. But because I'm an entertainer, I'm showing it to you anyway. That was my first idea for a Jirachi team. And whatever is my second idea, I don't even know yet, will feature in the VGC Legends series very soon, so keep an eye out for that.